Hey guys, this is Gamyrc. Figure I'd show you guys my new toy. This is a little rock bouncer that I've been working on for the last week. It turned out pretty okay for it to be my first brass tubing chassis. I always wanted to find something worthy of using that 90 turn Predator motor that I got from the Denali that I could show you guys. And I figured this would be a good way to use it. The whole tube chassis is made out of brass tubing. I can't think of the size right now. I'll tell you guys later on the description of the video. It's a close replica of a rock bouncer that I saw online on some other YouTube videos. It's supposed to have kind of like an orange cover running around this area here, and kind of like Jeep lights in the front, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I like the whole tube chassis look in it. I went ahead and used sumo axles for it because I wanted it to be fast in order to do the whole rock bouncer thing. But instead of the sumo transmission, I used the lossy transmission so that I could put this Predator motor in there with no problems. Also using the lossy 4.8 volt battery. I don't think I'm going to have to go with the LiPo on this one, and I kind of want to keep this one because it looks like an engine cover. So I am being sponsored by Lossy. Anyways, I think it looks pretty cool. Another thing I did, this is really not gonna be like the best articulating or the best performing micro that I've built, and that's really not the purpose. I just wanted to just toss it around. So I went ahead and tried to do a little something different. Instead of using my steering on the axle like I usually do on my sumo crawler, which is the best way to do because you get the best feel on that steering, I went ahead and put it on the tube chassis itself. Now this, of course, is not going to give you the best performance, but it looks kind of cool. I was trying to go for the whole 1/10 scale look, where they put their servos up here instead of the axle, and I don't know, looks kind of cool. I like it, but you run into this problem when your chassis goes up, your steering goes to the left, or if you have the servo on the other side of that, then it goes the other way. But anyway, which is a problem, but I don't really care. I like the way that servo turned out. I was able to get those tubes right there in the front of the chassis to be the exact width of that servo, so I didn't even have to glue it in or nothing. I just snapped it in, and the tubes hold it in place. I can't remember the name of this chassis. I'll try to get it for the description so you guys can check it out online and look at the real deal. Of course, I had to use some aluminum to extend the drive shafts. This guy, as it sits right now, it has a 6-inch wheelbase, like exactly 6-inch wheelbase, and looks pretty cool. But anyways, I had to use those extensions on the drive shaft because the transmission is not, the drive shafts are not long enough to make where they're supposed to without getting those extensions in there. Like I said, this is all brass tubing. Wish I could have done a better job. There's little points that I'm not too happy about here and there. I'm not going to point them out though. I'll let you guys figure it out. Anyways, going back to the whole thing. I used 256 rods, which is what I usually use for these links. But then I also used aluminum to cover those rods. This is a little idea I stole from, well, I didn't steal, I borrowed, come on, from Microcrawler guy. He's the first one that I saw using this. Somebody else might have used it before, but he's the first one I saw use it, so I thought it looked really cool on his microcrawler, and I figured this would be a good build to use that on. Again, trying to go for the whole aluminum feel of it. I wanted to build a chassis out of aluminum, but obviously soldering aluminum is out of the question. There's some things you can buy to actually solder it, but this size tube would have been too soft for you to be able to do that. Little details. Servo arm had to cut that little notch on it so that when you turned it wouldn't hit that bar, so you could get full steering. Shocks are inboard in the front, out in the back. Went ahead and soldered in the little knobs there for the shocks. All the links, they have their own nuts. They're soldered into the body. Same there. Same there. Lots of ESC. Articulation is not all that bad for what it is. I mean, it's pretty okay. I mean, it's a rock bouncer after all. But yeah, that's as far as it'll go. I could get more articulation, but honestly, rock bouncers don't have as much articulation as the crawlers. So I think this is way better than I really should have gone. I wish you guys could see this like firsthand, like here, because the video doesn't really do it justice. It looks really cool in person. Let's see, bam. I figured, I wanted to try out the whole brass chassis for a while, ever since Carlos did his. I was a little jealous, I'll admit. I wanted one myself, so I took the plunge and I guess it turned out okay. Let me see. Let's see if I could turn it on real quick to show you guys. Steering is a little bit underpowered because these servos that I used, I didn't have a regular one laying around, and I don't know if you can see it there. That is an HV, high voltage servo, meaning that servo is supposed to run a higher voltage than normal. And since I'm using this low voltage battery, he's not getting enough juice to do what it's supposed to do. So he's not too happy. I'm gonna use a regular servo, hopefully for the next videos. But once it gets going, this really isn't an issue. I can still turn those big mic claws, which is another thing. Finally, I found a vehicle that I could use the mic claws on. As you guys know from my other videos, I hate these tires for crawling. They do very well for a lot of people, but I never liked them. I think they were just, I don't know, they would just get cut up everywhere. I didn't like them. But for this build, they look awesome. They are just about the right size, and just makes it look scale compared to the real deal. So I like them. Finally found a use for them. Anyway, let me see what I can do here. Uh-oh, don't fall. Go back. Oh, don't fall off. So you can see it's pretty fast, even at 4.8 volts. Of course, it's going to get a lot more power if I put 7.2, but I'm going to try it out like this in, a few spots, see what it looks like. If I need to go to a 7.2, then I guess I'll have to get rid of my engine cover. We'll see. But I don't know. I think it'll work out. Oh shoot! I didn't show you guys. Usually Sumo axles, they're for 4-wheel steering. They have a steering servo in the back as well. So I had to lock these axles in the back. The steering. And the way that I did that was that steering plate that you guys see there. You see that little thing on the side right there, that little hole that I'm pointing at up there? Those are usually the servo holders, and they go up. They go on top of the servo plate. And let's see, come on camera. What I did was I flipped them around and put them on the bottom of that plate instead of on the top, so that I could use them as a point to hold on, to tie this link into. And then of course I left the regular link that's holding both wheels together. So that is how I locked those tires, so they won't do any steering when it's running. Really simple, nothing really fancy about that, but you know, somebody might scratch their head and be like, oh, but it's gonna steer in the back. No, it won't. It's locked. Anyway, no springs. I don't like springs, but you know what, for this one I might put springs in there, cut down of course, so that it at least looks like it's got springs. But as most guys know, you guys know, I like the droop setup, so maybe springs just for looks, but I'm not gonna have this vehicle be sprung, meaning that the springs are gonna actually do an effect on them. So sorry guys, don't hate me for it, it's just the way I like it. Anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. When you see the actual video of this thing online and you see that it's slightly different from mine, consider this is 1/24. I had to do a few changes. For example, there's a little bar that comes on the bottom, mimicking this one. It goes on the bottom, cuts across the front, and mates right there. I couldn't use that, because if I were to use that, the links wouldn't clear. It'd be a mess, servo and all that stuff. So I decided not to put that one in there. So a lot of little connecting bars that come around this area here. I also opted not to use those, or the ones that come in front, because being so small, having all those pieces of pipe, tube all over the place, would have made the car look, like crowded, like, I don't know, would have been messy looking with so many bars. I thought this, simple, nice line looked better than having all those cross bars there. Used all the ones that were needed on top and in the back. Also did not put